Sloss and Humphries on the road.
Muggins and Cream, Cream and Muggins, straight thuggin', living the dream.
That's our intro.
Fucking muggles.
Tickling the clit inside your head that makes you laugh. They said it can't be done.
Are we in the same seats?
That's hack.
Ah, muggles.
Accidental rib job in the park.
Kiss, kiss, kiss.
Or am I just being cynical?
Muggled it up on fucking Mugglepedia.
Where have you been since 9/11?
I can't get comfortable in this bed.
I've sobered up.
Oh yeah, I mean we've got a couple of apologies to do at the start of the podcast.
I'm not apologising for shit.
I mean,
I was on awesome form.
you definitely.
I haven't listened to it back. I'm scared, but I felt like I was on great form.
There seems to be an ongoing theme, and I'm thankful that some people have pointed out to us over the last couple of podcasts that I have been coming out with zingers that you have just been either ignoring or not understanding until like 3 days later.
I've overlooked a couple. There's a couple. One Cody pointed out is when I was talking about doing parkour to get away from people when I was a kid, and you went parkour.
Yep.
And I just brushed over it completely.
It's a great joke.
And then when I was uploading one the other day, we were talking about eyes being self-cleaning and dogs' bums being self-cleaning, and I mentioned vaginas were self-cleaning, and then if you went, and if they're not, I'll clean them.
Yep.
Just fucking zinger. But I just ignored the shit out of you.
None. It just makes it feel like I'm having a bad gig and you're knocking my confidence, and then I'm less confident in future gags. I always laugh at your fucking shit jokes.
I just got a zinger filter, haven't I?
No.
It's good.
It's absolute shit. Also, obviously, last podcast we were fucking hammered, so some of it was unintelligible. I also...
I love that you were actually really hammered during that podcast, but then you were still the rock. You were still the one, because I'd been drinking since 12 in the day on a free bar, and then you come to join me from 5, so you'd still been doing a good 10 hours drinking. Mm-hmm. But I was just drunk before we even met up.
Yeah. So we got absolutely smashed, and then I made something that's come back to not really bite me in the ass, but I've made a lot of enemies by claiming that Prosecco is for muggles.
Yeah, what were you thinking?
Well, you know what? As I've said,
You're just
Natalie,
playing the heel.
You know what? Nah,
You're just playing the bad guy.
Nah,
You've watched enough wrestling to realise that there's a market for a bad guy.
Yeah, I'd like to take this opportunity to apologise to absolutely fucking no one. I absolutely stand by it. Zero apologies.
The fact that we'd had about 6 bottles of Prosecco that night.
We're guilty of muggle things. I've never said we're not guilty of muggle.
Prosecco ain't a muggle thing. It's balling.
Nah, it's not. Champagne's balling. Prosecco's if you're just like, oh, I like the fizz in my juice, like sparkling water.
Oh man, it flows so well. Flows like Jay-Z in the booth.
I mean, I'm gonna acknowledge that bad one. You keep ignoring my zingers. I will point out every terrible fucking joke you make during this podcast and make you explain it piece by piece.
You're not gonna have much work to do. Tell you that.
So we're sat in your bird's room.
Yep, we're sat in Natalie's bed right now where the magic happens. Fucking magic.
This is
magic.
This
Call
is
me the wizard. I can make a rabbit appear.
A rampant rabbit which she needs after you
That was
fucked
a
her.
joke.
Yeah, and I was explaining it better.
Oh God.
No, it could have easily been you pull a rabbit out of Natalie's vagina. I don't know what your kinky sex life is.
Well, you're in the room where it happens. Just smell up, sniff up. Imagine it. The squeaky bed.
Oh, it's awful, and that's the bathroom where you got absolutely... Would you stop squeaking the bed?
Wasn't the squeaky when she bought it. I was saying, something's been going down when I'm away. Not always, yeah.
Going through that, last night or the night before, you accidentally slammed your girlfriend in one of the funniest ways. We were gigging in Bristol, and we drove all the way back down to London and got into your girlfriend's flat. It was like 3 a.m, and we wanted to be quiet when we came in because we're respectful.
She had work in the morning too.
Yeah, so we open the front door, and it's a very squeaky front door. So like you open it up, and the door just goes like the loudest fucking squeak. And I'm like, oh God, that was loud. And then you, for some reason, thought it was your girlfriend saying hello. So you leaned to get to her bedroom and was like, yeah, baby, it's just us. And then the door shut again, made the exact same horrible screeching sound. And you were like, yeah, baby, I'll be through in 2 seconds.
Just gonna get a drink.
Like 100% sincere. Like you're like, oh, she's so sweet when she's tired.
That's the noise you would make, right? If you just heard the door and some bumping around, like, is that somebody?
Yeah, but that wasn't even the noise. It was a horrific, Like, it says volumes of what you feel about.
Man, I have stood at that squeaky door for hours before, just putting the world to rights. Just thinking it's Natalie just chatting away. Man, I've booked holidays. I've planned trips away. Just to the squeaky door.
Cried because you thought you were dumped. Oh, you're going to be like that. And then you storm out, and then the door shuts. Like, all right, baby, I'll come back.
And then I start making fun of the noise back. Just me in the door, just making noises. Natalie's like, what the fuck's going on? Who's Kai brought back with him? She sounds angry. Starts arguing with the door as well.
I'm surprised every single time a car beeps at us on the motorway now, you're not just like, yeah, baby, I'm doing it. Yeah.
Oh, something funny happened last night. Well, I remember. So just lying in bed chatting away at Natalie. And we're talking about who's going to be at altitude and who's not going to be there this year. Mm-hmm. And we started talking about like a lot of the really good snowboarders and skiers aren't going to be there this year. So like Joel Dommett,
yep.
Chris Quayle, guys that normally win the clown race aren't going to be there.
But Stian and Craig Campbell are back.
Oh, are they back?
Yeah.
So it's not against me and you for the title then.
Every year there's the clown race at altitude, which is we start up at one of the biggest mountains and all the comedians have to snowboard their way down. And last year amongst the snowboarders, I came second, which is like the highest, because normally it's like Joel Dommett.
Second snowboarder.
Second snowboarder, like Marcus Brickstock and stuff, who are all like very, very good. And this year was turning out to be the year that one of us could have won it, me.
I was right behind you and about overtook, and then I spunked out. Spent the rest of it trying to catch up. So I was talking about like, oh, Joel Dommett's not going to be there, Chris Quayle's not going to be there, it's going to be difficult. And then like there was a lull, a long enough lull for the next thing to be said, could possibly be a change in conversation.
Yeah.
And Natalie just went, I bet you Nick Cody just straps one on isn't absolutely awesome. I bet Nick Cody just straps one on and is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's just like, my brain wasn't even on the clown race anymore. I was just like, the fuck kind of pillow talks this? And then it just hung there in the air for so long where we laughed, like, you know, nothing else needed to be said to it, right? And I was just like, oh, I love that. To imagine that, like, Nick Cody needs a strap on, just like his soft cock's just hanging there while he pegs you. While he pegs, he's just awesome with his strap on. And Natalie just went, oh, where my mind went. He didn't have a soft on, like, he had two cocks.
Yeah, that's where my mind went. Like,
because the thing is, if you need a peg, you're just like, you're not horny, you're just business as usual.
The way I see it is like, it's hard doggy style, and then his dick's going into her vagina, and then the strap-on's going to her butt. He's like a fucking European plug socket. Like, he's just going at her with two fucking things.
Two-pronged cord.
Like a sideways snake's tongue. Just going at your butt.
So we sat in this very bed, laughing for about 20 minutes at the thought of Nick Cody pegging me bed.
And then we had sex because we were both so turned on.
We did.
Best sex you've ever had.
Yep.
Just all the way through. She's like, oh, I wish Nick Cody was here. Speaking of, just very quickly, we mentioned Nick Cody a lot on this podcast. On the 5th,
so we should.
On the 5th to 10th of December, I am doing the Soho Theatre at 7:15 every night. During that exact same time at 7:30, Nick Cody is also doing the Soho Theatre.
Did you just plug your gig and his gig?
Yeah.
Was that a 2-pin plug?
Yeah.
Speaking of 2-pin plugs.
Oh, see, if I was you, I would have just went, yeah, so me and Cody, see how nice that was that I laughed at your joke?
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Yeah, you're welcome. Fucking didn't take much, did it? Watch and learn.
Needy.
Me and Cody are doing the Soho Theatre run at the same time, and if you like my stand-up, and you've never seen Nick Cody before, I cannot recommend it enough. He's genuinely one of my all-time favourites. I reckon in 10, 15 years, he will be like the Bill Burr of my generation.
Great.
Yeah, easily.
And so you guys are on at different times?
Yeah.
Same time?
Rooms, yeah.
At different times though. Could you make a night of it?
No. Like what?
You have to go to yours one day and his another.
Come to mine on Monday.
Full run, right?
Yeah. So we're on all the Monday through to Saturday. So you should definitely come see this, or come see us in altitude.
And I'm going to be going to see Matilda on the 6th. If you want to come watch me watch that. I'm going to the theatre.
Oh, you fucking.
Is it a musical Matilda? I think it is. Isn't it?
Tim Minchin wrote it.
What did he?
Tim Minchin did the music. So it's apparently it's fucking
songs?
spectacular. Oh, Matilda.
Matilda, use my mind.
I don't know what it
I
is.
use my mind to move some things.
I just like Matilda. She was kind of like Magneto, but just less of a cunt. Shows you the difference between when women get superpowers and men get them.
Yeah, she used her powers for good, right?
Oh, she's just like, I've got magical powers. I'm just gonna give that boy some cake, and I'm gonna fuck over that teacher that's been a dick to everyone. Magneto's like,
Fuck
right.
Mrs. Trunchbull, I've got bigger fish to fry.
I'm going full Holocaust. Well, I've got something to sort of bring up and to discuss. Well, first of all, in the last week's podcast, we added on an extra story because there was as always, another humiliating story about your childhood and teenage years.
What do you mean humiliating? It's a great story.
It is.
Fucking had a great time.
What, throwing your shoes across the room and not getting laid?
Mad night. It's been a mad one. like when Stanley had his whitey.
Oh,
A
yeah.
good time.
If you can think of any more humiliating stories, because they're always fun for me, and the fans obviously are getting into sort of the understanding of why I find you so funny, because you have all these tragic stories that people would go to therapy for, and you say them like a puppy that's just eating its own vomit back up, like, this is amazing. Like,
so do you want us to just pull in?
just have a think.
They come up naturally.
Yeah, they come up naturally.
I've got a really good story from my Dubai trip. That is, it doesn't. I'm not the victim in this story, so.
Oh, no, it's not funny then.
But you know, I went to Dubai to do a corporate gig for a bunch of Geordies. So you know the Dubai Marathon.
Yeah.
That is orchestrated essentially by the people that do the Great North Run. So it's all a bunch of Geordies that go. Now, I was out in Dubai doing some gigs, and a guy that does a lot of stuff to do with the press for the marathon asked me if I would come out and entertain these guys in January. So I went back a couple of months later, out in January for the Dubai Marathon, so that I could do an impromptu gig. I was a surprise for them. They didn't know I was going to be there. They just have a meal at the end, and they're going, "Oh, we've brought a Geordie comedian along. He's going to entertain you, right?" It's got the ingredients actually of a terrible gig, right?
Yes.
You'll agree?
Yeah.
And bear in mind, it's outdoors.
Yeah,
as well.
it's an audience that don't expect a comedian. They're not wanting a comedian.
They're just having dinner with their pals.
Aye,
and then all of a sudden, hey, look at this dipshit that you don't know.
Oh, me.
Listen to him.
Aye.
You're outdoors. There's no PA system. I'm just doing a loud talk at somebody else's dinner, right? But last is a fee. I mentioned a fee. They said yes, and I was like, I could have went higher.
That is the thing. Just explain to people how corporates work. Corporates are awful gigs that comedians, by and large, 9 out of 10 of them are awful, but they just pay you an astronomical fee, and it's we always sit there and be like, I've got integrity. My integrity doesn't have a price, and trust me, it absolutely fucking does have a price.
Totally, especially when it comes with flights to Dubai and a hotel.
Marlena always, our agent is always very good. Like, she prices me out of them to the point where if they accept the highest fee, she's like, this is all good.
Was it Stephen Grant that said, when you're at a corporate, just imagine you're at the petrol pump and holding the trigger down and watching the money go up on the petrol?
Grit your teeth and get through, because there's a bunch of drunk people who don't give a shit. I did one for Celtic Football Club. It's my first ever corporate. I went on after the reason they were there, like it was an after dinner talk of like this Celtic legend. Then he was meant to be on last, and he was like, "Oh, can I go on before the comedian?" And they were like, yeah, sure. So the reason everyone's there goes on stage, and then it's me, 19, in a suit. 400 people stand up and start milling around, and the only person that listened to my entire set was Henrik Larsson, who was sat in the front row. People kept asking him for autographs, and he just kept on being like, no, I'm watching the comedy. So I did like a one-on-one gig to Henrik Larsson, right? Some jokes he loved, but when he didn't like them, he didn't even have the decency to do a fake laugh. He was just like, just staring up at me.
Yeah. I love that you're the Scottish comedian at a Scottish event, and the one Swedish guy is the one that has the respect for you.
Massive fun.
So when I got booked for this gig, I was like, you know what, the guy who runs it's a fucking diamond, and he's saying that the people that are doing the event are salt of the earth guys, and I took his word for it, and the money was great. Went out, the thing was great, but I was a little bit concerned about I might make a fool of myself at the gig, right? And then I'm at the bar 2 days before the event, right? Oh, hold on, it's the day before the day before the event, the day before the marathon, and the day before the meal where I'm going to be entertaining the guys. And all these Geordies pile into the bar, and they don't know why I'm there. They don't know who I am. I'm just a stranger at the bar, but I'm like instantly fucking 40, 50 Geordies in a bar. These must be the guys.
So you start a fight.
Who I'm going to be entertaining. And then one of them come to the bar to buy a drink, fucking recognised us, right? And he was like, "Oh, you Kai Humphries?" And I was like, "Oh, fuck, I'm in the middle of a different country. I've been recognised for my comedy, right?" And I was like, yeah. And I was like really pleased because I'd been recognised for my stand-up. And he went, "Yeah, you used to work at Concordia Leisure Centre." I used to work there as well before you started. But so this guy used to work at Concordia Leisure Centre before I went, and when he told me his name, Andy Laidlaw, I was like, oh fuck, I remember people talking about Andy Laidlaw. Never worked with him, but he was there. And then somebody else come along to work with my brother on the roads because highway maintenance. There's a lot of the highway guys over, so I got integrated into this group, but not as a comedian. And then one of them clicked on, aren't you a comedian now? And I was like, yep. And they were like, what you doing in Dubai in January? And I just went, oh, I know your boss. And I just made up, I managed to keep the undercover thing going. Told them that I was just on a holiday because in January we've done a lot of work over December. January's a little bit of time off. Your boss hooked us up with a cheap deal in the hotel because it's the one that they're using for the marathon. Blah blah blah. Spun a yarn. Ended up fucking staying out with these guys. Got absolutely fucking shit faced with them all night. Right, absolutely slaughtered. The next morning, I was meant to do the 4K fun run as part of like a little press package to do with the marathon. Do the 4K fun run and do an interview with I think it was ITV actually, do something with the press for the website. Yeah. Afterwards, the interview. I slept in for the fun run and they rang us up saying, are you ready for your interview now? And I went, I'm not even there. I didn't do the fun run. They were like, oh, the story's been picked up. They're going to run it. You've let it down. And the proper guilt it is, right? And I was like, oh, fuck, well, I'll get there now. I'll just get a sweat on. I don't need to do the run. I just need to have a sweat on. And they were like, would you do that? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I got in the taxi.
So you lied about charity?
Hungover as fuck, right? Hungover as fuck. Turned up, right? Got a lanyard put around my neck, got a number put on us. I'm in my shorts and t-shirt, and then I got brought up to the press office, and then
just put your own nipple tape on you.
Put nipple tape on. I put one of them nose bands on like Robbie Fowler used to wear. Just looked the part, right? And they were like really impressed that I was still going to get a sweat on and do the interview so I could do the press, right? So I jumped over the fence and onto the marathon track, not the fun run track, the actual marathon track, and went to run. But then I realised if I run with the marathon runners, which were still coming in, it was on about the 5-hour mark at this point, so there was still runners coming in. I realised if I ran towards the finish line, which was just 200 metres up the road, I was going to hit a lot of congestion where people are getting their medals and people are getting their drink stations and stuff. So I ran back up the marathon track.
Against traffic, like a salmon.
Against traffic, like a salmon.
You know, salmon that go against traffic.
Those old salmon on the M6.
Like driving the wrong way, mugs.
So here's me, hungover as fuck, right? I've missed the fun run, I've missed my press obligation, and I'm running backwards up a marathon track thinking, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Right? And I'm going up, and I turn a corner. This is about half a kilometre up the track. I turn a corner and there's a big grandstand there full of people watching their family and friends coming in from the marathon, right? And I'm running backwards up the track like a fucking idiot at a decent pace as well, may I add, because I'm trying to get a sweat on in a short period of time. So I'm sprinting past the grandstand the wrong way as fucking knackered marathon runners are coming past us, ducking and dodging out the way.
You're just there like, I thought this was like Australia. I thought I had to run the other way around the track.
So I felt like a fucking dick.
Yeah, looked like one too.
Looked like one too, in front of a lot of people. And then this guy just went from the middle of the crowd, he went, man, you're running the wrong way. This like thick American accent, you're running the wrong way. As if I took a wrong turn. And I know what I should have done is turn to this man who was in the middle of a lot of people and just go, what are you like? I'm not doing the run. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. It would have been difficult to explain. Yeah. I looked like I should have been doing the run, right? And all of this is going through my head. And I just went, fuck! And just screamed fuck at the top of my lungs in the middle of the track, turned on a sixpence and sprinted the correct direction in front of this grandstand full of people. Right, and I'm just there amused with myself. I don't know if they get that I'd done a joke. I don't know if they do it. All I knew is people laughed.
He was American. He definitely did not get the joke.
I'd give the world a lot of laughter. I fucking killed with that gag. I don't know if they knew it was a gag or whether they thought I was a dick, but joke's a joke. It landed. Right, so I'm amused with myself. I'm looking forward to telling the people in the press office what's just happened. I've got a little anecdote from the morning. You know, I was in bed fucking 30 minutes ago. Now I've got a nice anecdote. Wasn't over. I gets up to the press office, which I said is 200 metres away from the final. A lot of the staff that were there, whatever they were doing, like catering the event or working in the press office, you know, people with high visibility jackets on, were lining the fences all the way to the thing and started encouraging us. Go on, you're nearly there. They didn't know my predicament either. They just saw a guy fucking running at a decent pace 5 hours into a marathon. So God knows, they must have thought I was saving myself. And like I've just got this burst of pace right at the end of the marathon. They're like, go on, you're nearly there, like fucking leaning right over the fence.
You start running it backwards just to show off.
I couldn't let them down, man. I couldn't let them down.
Yeah, but you already have twice.
The fucking Chariots of Fire was playing in my head.
I mean, that wasn't Chariots of Fire, but sure.
Oh
no,
do you want us to keep going?
Sure.
So this is playing in my head now. I've got all the support from the crowd. The finish line, the finish line's in sight. Man, I crossed the finish line of that marathon. They put a medal around me neck. They put a fucking medal around me neck. They give us a bag with goodies in. I've got a t-shirt. I've got some water. I mean, I haven't got that anymore. I got that down as.
I was knackered.
And I went to the press office and I walks in, head held high, medal around my neck. And they just went, where the fuck you been? And I stood there in the sun with my shades on, sweating my fucking box off, and I'd done that press. It's actually on my YouTube channel if anyone wants to watch the interview.
What, you lying through your teeth? I haven't even seen it.
Have you not?
No.
It's my YouTube channel, I guess...
It's Pussy Slayer 5000.
I think it's Kaibosh 1000.
Oh dear.
Kaibosh 1000.
Do you remember when you started comedy, Marlena made you change your email because you still had your one when you were a teenager?
Kai for real 2002.
Kai for real and 4 with the number 4.
I was for real. People can't handle the truth.
But why 2002? Is that just when you made it up?
That was when I had done the thing, yeah. That's when I lost my virginity. So yeah, Kai for real 2002. That was it was actually like all my Facebook and Twitter and shit.
Oh. I mean, you're a bad person.
I'm not. I just adapt.
I mean,
I just adapted what's in front of us.
Nah, I mean, so did the Italians during World War II. That doesn't make them good.
I slept in and I was meant to do the press and I managed to still fulfil my obligation.
I mean,
can I tell you as well? So after the... I'm trying to work out the chronological order of all of this because there was a point as well. I think it was 2 days after the run that I ended up doing the gig. It wasn't the night of the run, obviously, because they still had a lot of deconstruction to do. The gig was 2 days later because the next day I went and played golf with them because they...
What, started at the fucking 18th hole?
so I'd had such a good night with the boys that got us so fucking drunk that I couldn't do the fun run. And then because they heard about the story of how I patched it back together, like I ended up like really good pals with them and having a good laugh with them. I got invited to play golf with them, and the whole time they are just telling me stories about each other, and they're fucking really fucking funny guys that were giving us like solid stories.
Yeah.
You know how someone tells you, oh, you want to hear this about my pal,
and you never
get
do
this in one of your skits.
Yeah.
It's normally something fucking muggly. These were telling us like legit funny things, and the whole time they didn't know I was going to do the gig, and I just wrote shit down on each of them, and the gig just become a roast. And I just made the full thing a roast about them. So
you half-arsed the marathon and you half-arsed the gig.
It saved the gig.
Oh, you're a bad person.
How am I a bad person? You're a terrible person.
Yeah.
Think about what you done to Gene in last week's episode.
That was last week's
Think about what you
episode.
said about Prosecco.
I stand by that one.
You fucking cold-blooded monster.
Nah. Right, well, that brings us perfectly into our next game, the I Love You Pat, which is on tour. Obviously, we never fight. We're not fighters.
No.
But that's because we've always had this thing of like, there's stuff that pisses you off about me, and there's loads of stuff that pisses me off about you. But the thing is, we never get into the fights because we both know each other's got so much ammunition on each other. So it's like, you do this, yeah, well, you do this, and you do this, and you do this. And we're just like, well, let's just keep being annoying to each other and not mention it. But sometimes...
Remember that one time where we snapped at each other? And, it was in Ljubljana, and I had lost my toothbrush, and we didn't have enough of a turnaround to get to the gig, and my mouth just felt fucking like someone had died in there.
Yeah.
And like a ton of spunk. My mouth tasted like I'd been fucking blozzing
hardcore. Nick Cody and his strap on.
homeless people. Right? I felt like I'd been blozzing homeless people for days, and I'm at the gig, and then I'm having a little complaint about my plight, and Tin, the guy who was running the gig, said, I've got a little bit of mouthwash left.
Yeah.
And he gives it, and it was like the tiniest bit of mouthwash.
Yeah.
And then when I went to the bathroom, you didn't know I'd had that conversation. You didn't know I picked up the mouthwash. You grabbed it out of my hand and went, "What's this?"
Yeah.
But you were just being inquisitive.
Yeah,
but I got territorial, like I'm trying to steal my mouthwash.
Because you just hold this little bottle. I'm like, is that like a tiny little shot bottle? Because like we're in Ljubljana, they like shots. So I'm like, what's this little adorable thing? I like fucking got my ear bitten off.
And I scurried into the corner. My precious. Like you're trying to steal my mouthwash.
Yeah.
And you're like, I only want to know what it was. And you fucking stormed off. And I'm just there with my mouthwash just... swilling my mouth, just fucking eyeballing the mirror, going, he's a fucking cunt trying to steal my mouthwash. Danny's just walking away, going, he's a fucking cunt. I only wanted to know what it was. Like, we're probably snapping at each other. And then I was just like, I was genuinely mad at you, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to make him laugh. And I come back in and I just stood next to you for a bit and let the silence hang there, and I just went, sorry for snapping at you before about the mouthwash.
Because that's the funny thing. Like, I don't think we ever apologise to each other because it's just so unnecessary. It's just going, you'll fucking get over it eventually. Quit being a petulant child sort of thing.
Man, I think it's the funniest thing I can ever do to you is be nice to you.
Oh,
It just leaves you so baffled.
Oh,
that time when
angry.
I brought you a coffee with a little biscuit on the side, remember? In the departure lounge. I brought you a coffee, put it down, and I went, and there's a little biscuit in case you're feeling naughty.
I refused to drink it.
I just walked away like, the fuck's he done?
Oh, I can't stand it. It's just, ugh. Anyway, so we've got 3 gripes, this is a good couple counselling for everyone. Listen, you got I love you, but, and then which is something that you might not be aware that you do. And have you got 3 on me?
I've got millions, but I've wrote 3 down.
Right, shall I go first?
Go on then.
I love you, but if you continue to only eat eggs, chickpeas and beans when we stop at petrol stations on long journeys, knowing full well that your stomach is incapable of handling anything more complex than porridge and tap water, I'll jam the next egg all the way down your gullet like the fucking snake you are.
Fuck you, bothered about what I'm eating?
Because you fart. Like, like, my farts, fine. Jean's farts, fine. Your farts, when on a good diet...
Don't you dare say Jean farts.
Oh, mate. Well, maybe they're just quick.
She farts out of every orifice. I've had a fart out of that ear once. It was weird.
Like, you know that you've got terrible insides. Terrible. Like, your farts are so bad to genuinely the point where Marlena tried to send you to hospital because she's like, that's not healthy. Like...
Well, them smells leaving my body is definitely healthy. If you keep them smells in your body...
No, I fart, but like that and it comes
But you
out
keep
like,
the smells in?
Oh, no, they
That's how
still
you're
smell.
so corroded inside.
No,
You're so
no,
corroded inside.
no.
That's how I've got such a beautiful soul, because I let all of the toxins out.
No.
You just let it build up.
No, you've just something is wrong with your insides. Now, if I'm in a long car journey, I know you say, "Oh, you always fart in elevators." I would go, 1, that's fucking hilarious, and 2, they never actually fucking smell. You in long car journeys just sit there fucking eating 3 eggs, just like what? What's this? Like a fucking snake, just swallowing them whole.
I love that you can buy boiled eggs at Marks and Spencer's. It's one of my favourite things. You normally go to the place like that and you're like, oh, I'm just going to have to eat Krispy Kremes and fucking Greg's pasties and shit. And then Marks and Spencer's just gives you a little healthy option. It's tough to live healthy on the road.
But it's
You're not
it's
taking this
truth.
away from us?
No, I am. I'm not trying to take it away. I'm just telling you the repercussions.
Well, you know what?
Remember that?
When I fart in the car, you've got to remember I've got these nice new noise-reducing headphones, and it sometimes feels like I'm not doing it.
Oh, mate, can't wait for you to hear the second one.
Well, I better fucking hit you where it hits and better. Where are we? Have I wrote this down? I love you, but if you start road rage again, just because I've got your back, you're spending the rest of the journey in the boot. Man, yesterday, someone indicated to get in, and you let them in, but then you held up a middle finger. It was a perfect transaction.
No, that one. No.
You held up your middle finger until they noticed.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're not going to be the one dealing with that.
I know.
What a prick.
No, it's not my problem.
Dick move. And we've always said this, if someone indicates that's in front of you,
Yeah.
that's an indicator.
Yeah,
They are indicating what they're going to do. They're not asking permission. It's not a permissioner.
I fully agree with that. Like, if I'm indicating, I'm getting in that, like especially if you're merging, it's called an indicator, not an ask permissioner. Like, that's what's bad. He did that. The reason he was getting a middle finger, because despite he indicated, the reason everyone was in that lane, it was that thing of like, they're closing that lane. He knew that lane was going to. He knew for weeks that was closed, and then came down, just stuck his nose in, and I'm just like, there you go. That's for you, and there's one for your wife.
Yeah, but it's what you sticking your middle finger up with people when we're in the car is like you going to the roulette table with my chips.
Yeah,
and just gambling with my money.
But I'm confident in you. Like I don't know if we've told the story in the podcast. We've definitely told it on tour, but there was that time in Leicester where the guy honked at me because I hadn't moved off. Like, it was literally the millisecond that thing turned orange. And
traffic light.
Yeah, traffic light turned orange, and I rolled down the window and I gave him the finger, and then we drove around the corner and he got out of his car, and when I just seen he was getting out of his car and I got terrified, you got out of the car, took off your watch, pointed at him and just went, get back in your car before I fucking steal it. But if anything, this is your problem, because this is a precedent you've set for, and I do agree sometimes, like, because I'm not a fighter, and I've never been in fights, and I've grown up knowing how to talk my way out of fights.
It's like going, oh, I'm not an arsonist, but I like throwing matches. I like throwing lit matches, but I'm not an arsonist.
I do,
though.
but because you're a firefighter. Do you remember? Because sometimes I'll admit, like, I get a bit too cocky with you. Do you remember that time in Dundee at the fucking casino?
Yes.
So this is a couple of years ago. We're in Dundee now. I've got two friends up there.
Was Fraser not up there? No. What, Jordan Morris.
No, it was Joanne and her flatmate.
Oh yeah.
So we went to get drinks because it was like late. So we went to the casino, and in the casino there was a restaurant.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was thinking of a different event.
Yeah. So there was a queue to the restaurant, and it's like 3 a.m. in a casino, but we just want somewhere to sit down and get some food. And there's like 3 people in front of us are like 2 girls. And they were at the show that night, and they were like, "Oh, you guys are out drinking." We're like, "Yeah." And the 2 guys behind them weren't at the show, and they're like, "Who's that?" And they're like, "Oh, those are like really famous comedians." And the guys immediately, their egos been bruised. They're like, "No, we've never heard of them. We've never heard of them."
Yeah, they started probably Morgan were.
Yeah.
Alpha and were.
Yeah, and it was like, "Oh yeah, no, we've never heard of you." I'm like, "Well, that's understandable. It's fine." And the girls are like, "You should just get straight and go down the front," and started being like to women, like, "These guys are celebrities." I'm like, "No, that's absolutely not how this works.
Yeah.
I will wait in the queue but because they've now done this on my behalf." Like, the guys are like, "Oh, you think you can just do that?" I'm like, "No, literally none of this was..."
Yeah, they treated us like we were being divas, but we were just fucking trying to pacify the attention that we're getting.
Just trying to live my life. So they were like, "Do you want to come in?" I'm like, no, let everyone else go in. Like, that's not how this works. So everyone got into the restaurant. We're sat down, and with us and Joanna and our mate, and the 2 girls are sort of still talking, and the guys are sat at the table beside the girls, and the guys are just being dicks. They're shouting stuff. They're loudly talking about me and stuff, and I'm getting more and more wound up because I'm just trying to live my life. You can see that I'm getting frustrated, and you're just like, "Do you want me to go and kick their fucking heads in?" And I was like, no, let's just leave a bit. And it's about 20 to 25 minutes of them doing this.
We've done something really passive aggressive.
Oh yeah, no. So basically, at one point, I finally snapped, but I went, "Just cover me," and I went up to the girls because they were sat at the table beside them. I was like, "Would you girls like a photo?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, we'd love one." So I gave you their camera to take the photo, and I pushed the guys' meals to the other side of their table, sat down on the table, started eating their chips from their fucking plate, and they were there, and one of them stood up, and Kai went, "Just basically sit back down before I put that plate through your fucking head." And I sat on that table for 5 minutes, ate their food, and yeah, that was an absolutely cunty thing to do, but I was drunk in the morning, you were there to protect me, and these guys had been solid pricks for about 30 minutes.
I do like I always find these situations amusing because I know I'm not the hardest man in the world. I know there's a lot of people that are listening to this podcast that you could beat us in a fight. You don't like. I'm not that tough, but in those situations, my heart rate doesn't raise the slightest bit. Like, you know how, like, even before a gig when you first start off as a comedian, your heart rate goes up. You're a little bit like that nervous tension.
Yeah. Anytime I feel the fight's about to break off, my heart goes because I'm like, oh god, I don't know what to do in this situation.
I don't get a scrap of that. Like, I don't get any of that like kind of fear that comes with a conflict. So even though I am fully aware that a lot of people could probably beat us in a fight, like, I'm also aware that I'm not.
They might get bored punching you.
I'm not that fazed by conflict. But that's the thing though, is I'm like that and kind of use it to your...
Not too often. It only happens about once or twice a year, normally when I'm drunk, but that's the precedent you set. I am like those gobby girlfriends that just shout at people, and the boyfriend's just there being like, "I'm the one that's going to get in the fight. Yeah. I'm absolutely her. I'm carrying my high heels, being like, 'You don't know me, bitch. You fucking just I'm fucking.'" You're like, "Just get in the car, get in the taxi, get in the fucking taxi. Jesus Christ!"
And it's just the inconvenience that would come with it.
Right.
And as well, I can't empathise with your road rage. You get mad on the road for things that wouldn't even be on my radar.
It's because you don't pay attention.
I'm just so placid when it comes to people not letting you out or someone like cutting in front of you. I'll just shrug and just go, well.
But you and I are very different drivers. I want to get to the destination, and you do 50 on motorways.
Yeah, that's because one of us has been through a car window.
I've been in a car crash, but it wasn't my fault.
I've been through a car window before, and it's I'm not keen to do it again. I'm never in a hurry on the road since that.
Pussy. I'm not scared of fights, but you're scared of car crashes, you fucking wimp.
Like I said, it's just an inconvenience.
Nah.
You just have to deal with all the fucking administration, the insurance, the stitches.
I love you, but if you continue to incorrectly assume that noise-cancelling headphones work two ways and blare your Harry Potter book out what I can only assume is 1,000 decibels in your ears so that everyone else can hear it like an angst-ridden champ on a fucking bus, I'll piss on everything you love, and then you'll have to have an awkward conversation with Natalie about why I didn't piss on her.
Can other people hear it?
Constantly.
Honest?
It's so loud. It's so loud.
Oh.
You've got it on full fucking blast.
Oh, because I actually do put it on full blast.
Full blast.
Because like I'll be on a plane and people are chatting and fucking babies
everyone.
crying and stuff, and I just go zoop, and I'm just in my old.
It was like the
bubble.
time you got bored in the cinema and you put it on, and the guy in front of us was turning around and being like, "Are you playing fucking a book on your fucking iPhone out loud?"
I mean, that what I'd go to see that was dog shit.
It was, but you still don't get to ruin the experience for
What
other
was
people.
it? Shame the devil.
God.
It was something I'd never even heard
It
of.
was Alexander Skarsgård and that like cop one. I can't remember what the fuck it was called, but it was shite.
Yeah, so I put my book on.
Right, what's your next one?
I'm really annoyed about that because that's a fucking worthy thing to be annoyed at.
Yeah.
That I was like making people hear my music.
Yeah.
I just didn't know that was happening.
Well,
I
also-
thought it did work both ways.
No, it doesn't.
Fuck.
And everyone can hear it. The other thing as well is I understand this is something that everyone does it, but it's like one of the most. It's like being in an airport with your dad, because I understand it cancels. So you clearly lose register of how loud your voice is. But I'll be standing right beside you at the fucking carousel for the fucking luggage to come, and you'll just go, "Who's meeting us here?" And I'm like, "I'm right beside you." Like, when are we being met? And I'm like,
I'm hungry.
"Do you need to pee? I need to pee." And I'm like, "He's not autistic. He's not. He's just wearing headphones." You fucking muck.
Natalie was saying that I'm like that special boy off There's Something About Mary.
Yeah. Yep.
The brother that wears the headphones.
Right.
Great headphones though. Bose QC35s. Definitely worthy purchase. Just a little plug there. On a commission. I love you, but if you don't start using P's and Q's with people in the service industry, I'm going to take a shit in your soup myself.
Oh yeah.
You have got terrible manners.
Why? How? When?
I don't think you've ever said please when ordering a meal. I don't think you've ever said thank you when it arrives, and you'll eyeball the waitress the minute you've had the last morsel so that the bill arrives.
Yeah.
Oh,
I definitely.
you're just not a person.
No, I definitely.
They're not a person.
I'll disagree.
You're having a transaction with a machine, and you look at them like it's saying loading when they're busy.
I'll disagree. I do say thank you. I definitely say thank you, but it's I'll absolutely say thank you. I'll disagree with that. I probably don't say please, and that's just because I'm like what?
Because you're a robot. Like, you don't say please and thank you to a cash point, but they still do the same thing. It's like you think, well, why do I need to cater for your ego for you to serve my meal? But that's just a person that's at work. Just say please to them. Yeah. You're still asking them to do something for you, and they're doing something for you. So just showing a little bit of gratitude
But I'm paying
verbally.
them. But I'm paying them.
Yeah, and they say thank you when you give them the bill.
Again, I say thank you as well. And I say have a nice day. But I'm not begging for my fucking food. I'm giving you money for it. Like, oh, please can I have the food? Oh, and take my money as well. Nah, one or the other. Give me it for free and I'll say please.
I just think for someone that hates London, you hate London because of how like much it lacks humanity.
Yeah.
And how unfriendly it is, a place. You fit in here perfectly.
No, that's not why I hate London. I just hate London because it's just too. I don't like massive cities. It's just like everything's.
You live in Edinburgh.
Yeah, it's not a massive city
It's
though.
the capital.
Yeah, London has the population of the whole of Scotland, more than the population of the whole of Scotland.
Yeah, I suppose it's that.
Oh yeah, if you want to bring facts.
But you
into
know,
it.
if you walk down fucking the main street, it's going to be just as dense.
But there's also sometimes, like for me, and again we've discussed this, the amount of restaurants we go to, sometimes I don't want human interaction. Like I've had so much during the day, and sometimes the reason I do it, and although it does come across as rude, because if you're too nice, then they stay for an extra 5 minutes. Like I don't want to have a conversation with you. Hi, how's your day? None of your fucking business. None of your business how my day is. I came in here for a meal. Like
Yeah, we are in a bizarre situation when we go to a restaurant, it's out of necessity. We would really much rather just be in the kitchen alone, fucking buttering a slice of bread to make a sandwich.
Yeah,
But we can't do that. We can't.
because like there is so many times like constantly, because you've just got to be on, and you know I'll admit sometimes friendliness takes me effort. Like after, when we do the hugs and stuff after the fucking show, like that's a lot of high energy keeping, because I've got resting bitch face constantly, so I've got to counteract that resting bitch face for like an hour. And even though
that is a very real thing as well, because you are that disposition. If you don't want to say please and thank you just want to be very fucking mechanical about every transaction, because you realise that you've got a profile and these people are like buying tickets to see you. You actually fucking have to switch it on for them.
I do.
And I'm like, oh, this guy's a fucking animal. He's a fake cunt.
It's because you can't, because like I feel like with people who've come to the show and stuff, no matter how fucking tired I am, they've been excited about this for weeks. They've put the effort in. Like I've met people who I really liked, and they were just they brushed me off in the same way that I might brush off waitresses, and I wanted.
Like, did you not watch the Hound from Game of Thrones brush someone off? You were about to approach him for a photo, and then someone asked him for a photo.
Yeah,
and he shunned them.
Oh yeah, he was in an airport, and admittedly we had a delayed flight, and he landed in Edinburgh. Someone was like, "Can I get a photo?" And he was like, "No," and just stormed off. And I was like, and I fully understood where he was coming from, but like he didn't have to look at the guy's face after he left. Yeah. So I was just like, that's why I always make sure. Like Gene always says, whenever I'm drunk or shit faced, if I'm out in a club or whatever, and even if I'm angry, me and her have been like having arguments, and if someone goes, "Are you Daniel Sloss?" I'll just suddenly go, "Yeah, hey, how you doing?"
Yeah, because you instantly protect your rep. Well, you put the rep protection defense on.
But it's not even.
Whereas when you're just in your day-to-day life, like what happens if the person that you stick the middle finger up looks and goes, "Ah, I fucking love Daniel Sloss. Why has he been a dick?"
Well, no.
Oh man, I've been to 6 of his shows. He always takes a photo with us. Now he's giving us a middle finger because I indicated him.
That guy was a dick. That guy was like, I would have, because I'm also the thing, like, I'll have a confrontation with you and then sort it out with you. Like, if you get your grouts with me, I'll have my grouts with you. You're not an enemy for life. It was like that Twitter fucking spat we had the other day with that guy. I was horrible to him, he was horrible to me. We got through it together, and then we ended it sort of amicably. Yeah. I've always got that thing of like, confrontation, I'll stay with it till the end. I'm always just scared of like, if you turn this into a fucking fight, we can solve this, like, man. Yeah. But I just, like, it's my same thing with taxi drivers. How's your day? None of your goddamn business. Like, I didn't get in here for a fucking conversation.
Yeah, I think that is just a side effect of being road weary. I think if your experience with taxis was just every now and again, you needed to get somewhere. Yeah, but the fact that you're in taxis a lot, you just kind of want, and the fact that you're in restaurants a lot, you just want to get your head down, have your meal, and not have to deal with people.
Yeah, I've been on the road, I've not been on my phone, I want to catch up on my emails, I want to fucking, I've got like so many WhatsApp notifications today. Yeah. Hey, so can I talk you through our specials? Nope. No, you can't. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just not, I'm not in the mood.
A lot of the trimmings that make a restaurant good for like a person that'll just go casually as an event are things that really start grinding you when you're just trying to eat.
Yeah. Right. I love you, but if you take my iPhone off charge when it's not done charging, I'll beat you into a coma. And when the doctor says he only has a 7% chance of dying, I'll pull the plug, because apparently that's fucking acceptable now.
Should I tell you my very valid argument with this?
It's your charger.
It's my fucking charger, dude. If I'm on 9% and you're on 54 on my charger, fucking rules better off.
But I would argue that has only been true.
And I honestly don't mind sharing my charger, to the point that I bought this battery pack specifically because it had 2 USBs on, so that you could use it too. But you fucking just unplug mine still.
Yeah. Race you.
Huh?
Race you. Because I've got that shitty thing now with the iPhone. I think you had it a couple of iPhones ago. You know, when it just goes from 30 to be like, I'm dead now.
Oh, it's the worst.
I'm dead now. Bye. And you're like, no, you're on 30. He's like, nah, dead. So it's at the stage where I just have to fucking constantly have it on charge. And admittedly, yeah, I do take your one, and it has been in the past 2 weeks because I've lost my chargers. I've been using yours, but I would argue that historically we're probably even for it.
No, I'm not. I'm normally pretty solid with chargers. We're like, I'll check a charger. I think you were on like 54 when you had a little spat your dummy out the other day.
Oh, because that means it's only on 21.
And as well, you've lost so much this tour.
Oh, Jesus.
You've lost so much this tour, but every time I think I've lost something, you act like I'm being a dick. So, like, there's been a couple of occasions where I thought I've lost my passport. Do you know, the other day, I had this house upside down because I'd lost my passport. Was
it in your pocket?
I'm doing my visa registration, right? I've got all my visa papers down on the table. I've got my laptop down. I'm going through all the thing. It asks for my passport number. And then I'm looking all over the house. I ended up taking every cushion off every couch, right, and stacking them up just so that I could get down every crevice of the couch. Had the fucking house upside down, right? Give up on it. I'm texting Natalie the whole time. She's like, have you checked your pyjama pocket? I'm like, first thing I checked, right? And then I went and just thought, well, I wonder what else I can fill in. I'll try and sort out this passport situation, but I'll pick the forms that was underneath my forms. Done that. But I do that a lot, and you get so annoyed that I do this.
Yeah.
But you've lost a Kindle,
Yeah.
a vape,
Yeah.
numerous chargers,
One.
but you've lost
One
chargers
and
for
one
different
broke.
things.
Because
You've borrowed my USB for your vape,
USB
and
one.
you've lost your...
yeah, but my thing is like my argument's always been like whenever I lose something, I go, "Have you seen this thing?" And you'll go, "No," and then I'll run through my head and I'll be like, and I'll look at all the places it is, and I'll just go, "Ah, fuck, it is lost." Like and then I'll move on. Whereas yours is you're like, Gene, 1 second of like I've lost my thing, and I'm like, just check your pockets. It's like the thing.
But the fact that I'll have this there, like, oh my god, I've lost something, this is everybody's problem now, we need to find it.
Yep.
That is the reason I haven't lost as much as you have. Maybe if you just fucking swallowed your pride and went, Kai, let's try and find me Kindle, you'd probably saved 80 quid on buying a new Kindle.
No, I think you've just got to higher your standards for what lost is. Like, you've really got to high, because like for me, lost is it's not here. Yours is. It's not in the eye line of my left eye.
But you know what feels amazing? It always shows up.
Because it's never lost.
Imagine having the feeling of something's lost and then finding it. I go through that like several times per day. That's why I'm so happy.
Right, we're only on 44. We should get into Muggle Corner quickly. Oh no, you've got one more to do.
I love you, bud. Being 1 minute late for something doesn't constitute for being late. And if you treat it as such again, I'm going to wish upon a star that the last girl you fucked is late on a period. Man, I'll be like waiting for the lift, like on time, waiting for the lift. It's like 30 seconds past the hour, and I'll have a text off you saying late.
Late.
I'm like, no, that's not late.
It is.
You want to know what late is? It's not 30 seconds.
It is.
It's not the minute it ticks. I reckon you've got like a buffer of about 5 minutes either side. You can be like a little bit early, you can be a little bit late.
I would agree with the buffer, but as I've said before, the buffer depends on proximity. Like if I was on the other side of London today, I wasn't annoyed at you today because my phone was dying. I couldn't get in the flat, and I was like, this is my fucking problem. I text you, being I'm outside. Just stood there on my phone. That was fine. Like that was a 5 minute leeway there. That was absolutely fair because proximity, right? Every time you're late, I'm like, we're in the same hotel. Like it's downstairs in the lobby. Like it's just at 5:02. You just go down and be early because the guys are always
We're
early.
in the same hotel. We've been given an hour to go change around. I'll fucking have a workout. I'll get showered. I'll pack my bag with the stuff I need. I'm going to make sure I've done all of that before I think, oh shit, Danny's going to be mad if I'm 30 seconds late.
No, but
I better leave my phone charger plugged in because I haven't got time to get it.
No, but
it's 30 seconds.
But I would let it go if I thought that the whole time, if I'm like, God, he's running around upstairs to get everything together. I know you're on your arse. I know you're on your arse on your phone. I was like, that's time. Use the time that you're just on your arse on your phone to get all your shit together and then come downstairs and be on your phone downstairs.
I know when you text us going, you're late, and I reply to you saying, guess which one of us gives a fuck?
Paulius, all the people that you've left waiting downstairs.
We've never missed anything.
Lateness is one of my biggest fucking gripes.
Yeah, but you've really got to relax what you consider to be late.
Oh,
like
no.
If I'm booked for a 20-minute spot at a gig, right, and then they complain that I overran because I'd done 20 minutes and 30 seconds, I would be like, did I fuck overran? I landed within the fucking bracket, right? But if I do 26 minutes, they've got a point.
All right, I'll start being late for everything, so you like it.
Oh, if it's 30 seconds as well, I'll just sit in the lobby just playing on my phone, waiting for you. Well, we're not even waiting for you. Like, just you'll show up and go, oh, there we go.
Yeah, but the thing is,
I won't be there going, where's Daniel?
Because I'm not late. Because I'm always there at 5. I'm always there on the dot. Right, Muggles.
Aye then.
Muggles. This is one from Brian Petty on Twitter. Muggles say, the joys. Ironically, when it's like shitty weather.
Like what's that? That's got to have a broader classification because that is like that's a trait of something.
Yeah.
What is it? Oh, the joys. Just like
it's like shit sarcasm when something's blatantly shit. Like sarcasm is, don't get me wrong, it's very funny, but it's got to be a bit more cleverer than like, oh, nice weather for ducks.
Yeah.
Like it's
the joys.
Oh, yeah. But people go, oh, that'd be lovely, and you're like, what are you, 7 years old? Like that's your level of sarcasm? Either be very good at sarcasm or just don't participate. Low level sarcasm.
Yes, I think like most references to the weather are pretty lame.
Yeah, but we've already covered.
Yeah, well,
weather.
Oh, the joys.
Like, or like, I think the joys also refer to like if you ever see, like whenever a kid's throwing off a fucking tantrum in a supermarket, they'll be like, oh, the joys of children.
Yeah.
Go on, just sort your kid out.
Don't have. Oh, there was a guy brought a child in swimming when I worked at the swimming pool. I was a lifeguard, right? And the child must have been about 2 years old and toddled all the way around the outside of the pool, and he kept going to pick stuff up that he wasn't allowed to, and. Like, you know, like the lifeguard boys and the ropes and stuff, he was going to play with them, and the dad's like near him and like telling him not to, but like not grabbing his kid and like moving him. And he'd done a full lap of the pool, following this toddler, and I'm watching this fucking shit dad all the way around the pool. And then he looked up at me and went, "Never have kids." And I felt like grabbing him by the face and go, "Speak for your fucking self, you daft cunt." Because I'd be way better than that.
You know, you're allowed to touch your own kid. That doesn't make you a paedophile, right?
I mean, nonsense on him if you
Like,
just fucking stop him from...
You fucking go all the way around the pool, be like, "Can't be mad, not touching. Can't be mad, not touching."
Not touching, can't be a nonce. Not touching, can't be a nonce. Oh, the joys of parenting.
All right, so
Oh, the joys.
All right, Lola.
Oh, I'm having a good time, but I'm not.
All right.
That's what this thing... Oh.
I'm announcing to the world that I'm not having a good time, but I'm pretending I am.
I'm having a good time.
Because I'm a brave old sowl.
Yeah.
Now, what's yours?
Muggle Corner. This is another one from Twitter. Fucking great suggestion. I didn't write down the name though, so you know who you are if you hear this. It's the people that post a Facebook status with a picture of an Xbox game like FIFA or Call of Duty alongside a letter off their girlfriend saying there's beers in the fridge, I'm going to be in the room staying out the way, enjoy playing the FIFA and all that. Like, you pair of fucking muggles. One, first scenario, your girlfriend didn't do that and you're trying to project like she did so that you get some shares on Facebook.
Yep, absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
Two, stop celebrating not being whipped. It should be expected.
Yeah.
It should be expected not to be whipped. Like, oh, my girlfriend let me play FIFA and bought me a drink. Oh, your life sounds amazing. Just play FIFA if you want. Get a drink if you want. Fuck, she can do the same. If she wants to play FIFA and get a drink, tell her to knock herself out. You saw two people who've fucking discussed this a million times. Stop being fucking whipped and celebrating not being whipped.
It's bragging about lowest level expectation. Like, no, I came home and the boy had cooked me dinner because I was stressed at work.
Boy did good.
Yeah, boy did, yeah.
You're there to amplify each other's lives. You're there to make each other's lives better. That's what the fucking bond is. That's what the relationship is. You're making her life better. She's making your life better.
And if you're not making each other's lives better,
what the fuck are you doing?
Like, why are you showing it off? Yep, I fully agree.
So, thank you for that suggestion. I'm glad we got to deconstruct it, because even when I read that, I was like, that is muggly, but there's something more than that, and it is that celebration of not being whipped.
Yeah.
It is that, like, you've got a routine about your friend having a garage, and he's like, oh, this is where I go to get away.
And you're like, get away from, like...
She's giving me my man cave.
Yeah, she's giving me a place where I can call my own. I'm like, you should be able to call it all your own and hers.
It's a beer fridge in the garage. She's got a fucking fridge in the house.
Like, yeah, it's just the territorial stuff, and like, oh, it's like the people that go, yeah, I might come out Friday, lads, got to get permission from the last. No, you don't. No, you do not. Go out, be your own fucking person.
Yeah.
I also should explain to, just in case anyone hasn't listened to this before, Muggle Corner, very quickly, is when, as you've just heard, we discuss muggly, plain things that boring people do.
Behaviour patterns that are common, are a common thread, and you see them around, and you look at it and go, that needs fixing. Yeah,
you get annoyed, but you can't really work out why. We work out why you're annoyed by it, and if everyone's guilty of them, as we've discussed, we're guilty of a lot of things. You have to go stand in Muggle Corner for 30 seconds.
And none of this makes you a bad person. You're just
if anything, you're
slipping into some patterns that you could probably do without.
This is one from Twitter as well. I cannot remember your name. Sosbay is adults who, and she admitted to being guilty of this, so that's a good, again, another good sign, aware of your own muggliness. Adults who buy like Happy Meals or Kinder Eggs, like just. And no, I don't do either of these things, but it's totally that. It's just one of those little. It's another. Oh, I'm quirky.
Like ironic.
Just being cool. Like, oh yeah, I just love the toys. No, you don't. Now that's you are.
You don't love the toys. You love that. The idea of being perceived as loving the toys.
Yeah,
the toys don't bring you any joy. People thinking you love toys brings you joy.
Oh, you're like, yeah. You lie in bed being like, oh. Everyone thinks I love Kinder Eggs. Oh, they might be gifts.
It's my thing.
They think of like a child. They probably all talk about how adorable I am.
Cookie.
I just quirky. I'm like Phoebe from Friends. If you have any trait that is like Phoebe from Friends, get in the corner for the rest of your life until you starve to death. There is, yeah.
So this one, It was suggested on Twitter, but it's been on my mind, and I've been wanting to bring this up, and I think I'm going to meet some resistance, probably a similar resistance to you get from trying to put Prosecco in Muggle Corner.
Where it belongs.
But I think Christmas is like a big, like almost like a Muggle immunity blanket. Like, just because you say it's Christmas, everyone's just like, right, let's crank up the Muggle. It's
absolutely.
Christmas. Pulling on matching jumpers and shit, and just like getting excited over adverts. And
I think because you hate Christmas. You're a proper Grinch.
Yeah, I think so.
You're a proper Grinch.
I like the idea of everyone's got time off, fucking do stuff. I think the whole corporate side of it's took over. I think I like Christmas.
I feel like you're just
the
getting
magic. If it was there, the magic has been sucked out of Christmas.
See, I feel I feel like you're just getting the corporate side of Christmas because I'll agree with you fully. There's so many things where it is a Muggle immunity blanket where I'll sit there in a fucking Christmas. I'll sit there in a fucking
You'll
Christmas
pull a cracker. You'll read out the joke.
Oh, I'll sip my hot chocolate. We'll play party games. But the whole time there, I'm like, this is full Muggly. But I'm there with it's my family, it's my mum, my dad, my brothers. Jean there's my extended family, all my aunts and uncles.
The people that you don't spend time with all year round because you've got nothing in common.
No.
You can see them any day.
No, not with this job.
Yeah,
No.
This is true.
Definitely.
It is right. Everyone's got time off work.
Yeah, there's absolutely me and my family get together about 3 times a year, and all those other things are equally we celebrate Easter, but we're not celebrating Easter. We're just like kids are on holidays, people have time off work, now we can do this fucking thing together.
It is cool that everyone gets time off together. I do like that. I just feel like it's.
Oh, I love the Christmas tree. I love the songs. Every year, me and Jean put up the Christmas trees. We sit there drinking hot chocolate, watching the Santa Claus with Tim Allen, seen it 1,000 times.
Being when it's cozy, when it's snowing outside.
Oh, mate.
Oh,
I love it.
Let the Muggle wash over me. It is ultimate Muggle is Christmas, but it's acceptable.
Yeah,
you've got Muggle immunity over Christmas.
I do agree. I think it is a time when just
don't stand in the corner for celebrating Christmas.
Yeah.
Like
unless you believe in Jesus.
Bring this up and say, oh, if you celebrate Christmas, you're a Muggle. I am getting practically everyone.
Oh yeah, everyone. Like it's just
even people of different religions celebrate Christmas because they've got time off at the same time as everybody else. So. What I'm saying is, you don't stand in the corner, celebrate Christmas, right? But understand it is super muggly.
You saying I was like, yeah, but why do you celebrate Christmas? You're not even religious. You have sex and you're not trying to have kids. Like, it can be fun without the intention. Like, it's such a... if I'm not allowed to celebrate Christmas...
If Christmas gave me an orgasm, I wouldn't give a fuck about the religion.
Like, but that's what it is.
I'm trying for orgasms.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not doing it for the original thing. I just enjoy the whole thing of it. Like, it is... I'm very happy with that analogy, actually.
Yeah, it is good.
Like, nobody's having sex to have kids. Well, I mean, some people are, but they're all muggles.
Muggles?
You're having sex with a kid, you fucking muggle.
Yeah. Your point just come back full circle. So, Christmas, you're not in the corner, but I'm just bringing it there for awareness that we're all going to act like muggles for a good 2 weeks. Like a solid 2 weeks, you're just going to be analytical about how muggly you are.
Was there not that other edition that guy gave about the other Christmas particular thing?
Oh, hold on, the engagements on Christmas.
Yeah.
Super muggles. Like, I think my girlfriend would be furious if I proposed on Christmas.
Yeah.
She'd be like, oh, what were those guys?
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, now I have to put a fucking picture of a fucking ring that's too tight for me sausage finger on Facebook. which Natalie, that was not a dig at your fingers. You've got beautiful slender fingers. However, the specific brand of muggle who play this game, the ring's always a little bit too tight, you don't find?
Yeah. Just... Oh, then again, can you really do exercise for your fingers? Like, if you know you're getting engaged, can you just do loads of hand press ups?
Nah, you should just probably get a ring the right size and lie to yourself.
Yeah, like that's like, yeah, who's lying about their ring size? Like, I understand that, sometimes women want to, fit into certain types of clothes and stuff. There's no shame about not.
Just a ring that fits will be nice.
Yeah, nobody.
Say that they don't buy it either. It's like that.
Oh yeah, it's probably
the
just
boyfriend projecting that on them, isn't it? It's like,
how big's your girlfriend's finger? Oh, I don't know. Right? Can you?
It's like
it's about the same size as my asshole.
Get your asshole out for the jeweler.
It fits perfectly in there. Not two. Yeah, no, I totally. Because making a proposal on on New Year or their birthday, it's just like, geez, it's a special occasion. I'm not the least romantic person in the world, but I'm like, it's already a special occasion if you're proposing. Like, how terrified of you of the rejection of being told no, or like not making the moment magical enough that you need to like hijack the magical moment of something else, like the hype of New Year or the excitement of their birthday.
Somebody else's wedding.
Yeah. Oh God.
Has anyone ever proposed at someone else's wedding? It just stole the thunder from that day.
Man, I bet they have. I've never experienced it, but I reckon that is like the highest level of cunnery. Like someone at someone else's wedding, you propose, you're a sack of shit. That's not even muggly. That's a level of cold-bloodedness that only I'm capable of.
Yeah.
Because I totally would do that at your wedding, even if I don't have a car.
100% would.
Oh, I absolutely would. Like,
even if you weren't going out with anyone.
Yeah, propose to Natalie.
Natalie.
But while you're doing your vows, I'm like, baby.
Forever
Look,
hold your peace.
Yeah, hold your peace. Look, I don't think you sound.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Look, Natalie. I'm not going to treat you better than he does, but at least I don't think you sound like an unoiled door. Like when you're having sex on this bed and it's squeaking, do you just think it's Natalie making all the noise?
Dirty talk. Talking dirty to me, yeah. Squeaky bed.
Oh, right.
It's just like a dog's chew toy. Down there. You know what I mean?
Muggles have like on their Facebook, their Twitter, anything. Add me on Snapchat. Like it's on Tinder. You know, you're not on Tinder, but like in the bios, I like funny bios. Like Tinder just like your face and you get that across. But if you can make me laugh in your bio, I'm like, there you go, good. You got a good personality. My sign, I will instantly say, no matter how hot you are, if you have your Snapchat thing in Tinder, I'm like, muggle as fuck. Like. That's a form of interaction you want to have with someone. You don't want to talk to them. You want to send 10-second videos of you looking like a fucking dog with roses on your head. Like that's your selling point. That you're like, oh, how cool is that?
Ridiculous. Snapchat, I deleted that anyway because it was so fucking muggly.
Because I kept sending you dick pics.
Because Grant McHenry, one of our friends, kept sending us pictures of his beer. Like, I want to see a beer. You just took up some of my day with a picture of your pint.
Yeah.
You fucking muggle.
One of my friends, Sarah, who I love dearly, I had to delete her on Snapchat just because it'd be like she'd be about to go out for a jog and she'd be like, just going for a jog. I didn't ask.
Yeah, a lot of that. I felt like I was being forced into people's lives. Where like the real ultra muggle stuff of like meals, pints, gym workouts, all that shit. And also because there was some girls who I used to bump uglies with.
Because by that I mean they were ugly and you used to bump them.
Yeah, they used to send us like fucking naughty pictures on Snapchat, and I felt like it was inappropriate. I've got a girlfriend.
Right.
I was just like every now and again I'd just be uploading a picture of someone in their underwear, and I'm not flattering myself and thinking that was just for me.
Yeah,
I think they were like super posers that were like sending
it was
a
like
blanket to a lot of people.
Yeah,
you know, like they're proper posy photos because you know when you go with a girl, when you're single, you go with a girl that's a model, but by model I mean knows a guy with a camera in a garage, like an open spot model.
Yeah.
So they're like super posers, and I was getting like super poser photos in underwear, and I was like, yeah. I'm getting like muggle stuff and I'm getting inappropriate photos. I should probably get rid of.
See, that's why I still, the people will be like, why don't you just delete Snapchat? And I'm like, because I'm not in a relationship and I don't mind those inappropriate photos every now and again.
Oh yeah, I mean I still fucking screenshotted them and sent them to you. You know, I give them to someone that can use them. Someone lonely. Someone lonely might like these photos, not Bosh.
Just to clarify, Natalie, that is not true. I'll just dig Kai out of this massive grave he's dug himself. What's your final one?
That's not true. The photos I was getting on Snapchat.
No, you didn't send them to me.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, that's the bit of the true. You dragged us both down screaming into a bit, but there was no punchline, so it just sounded like an admission. I was like, hold on. You've shot the bottom in this ship and you're kicking my bucket away.
Oh, no, I was just trying to make you out to be lonely, that you need naked photos to get through the evenings.
I do, and if you want to send me naked photos, add me on Snapchat. You can work out what my name is on Snapchat. Pussy Galore 420.
So we're running short on time now. I don't think this needs much discussion. It's quite an obvious one, but muggles fall for clickbait. Oh, you'll not believe what happens next. I don't give a fuck what happens next.
Yeah.
I can see the sponsored. I can see the word sponsored underneath it. I can see the photo is fucking ambiguous. Who the fuck is... Oh, you've got me here.
I've got to...
You've piqued my interest.
What's that? It's a cliffhanger of an advert, this one. What does happen next?
Have the curse. Could it be clickbait?
This guy sits in a bath of chili. What happens next will surprise you. Does he sit in the bath of Jillian? It's unpleasant. Yeah. It's like all clickbait feels like a child who's like when children try to tell you interesting stories. So you never could guess what happened at school today. So we were there, and there was a hedgehog outside, and did someone pick up the hedgehog? No, because there's a hedgehog. The teacher told us not to touch the hedgehog. Right? But I wanted to touch it. Did you just tell me if you touched the hedgehog? So me and Jay's, and his mum doesn't let him touch hedgehogs, and I'm not allowed to touch it. Did you touch the fucking hedgehog?
Tell me what happened next.
Yeah, touch the hedgehog. Oh, well, you've wasted 5 minutes of my life with your shit.
I remember there was one about Rihanna, like leaked photos of Rihanna that was clearly clickbait, but what it was doing is like fucking creating a virus on your Facebook so that like you reposted it, so anyone that reposted, like you had to share it. Yeah. I think it was the fact that you had to share it so you could open it, and people wanted the pictures of Rihanna so bad that they were making a mug of themselves by sharing it.
Oh, it's just like, it was just them marking them. They might as well just got a giant muggle stamp and put it on their fucking head.
No, you can't even have a wank without catching a virus.
Right, finally on to your dad jokes.
Your dad cracked a great dad joke the other day. He was on loudspeaker in the car.
Oh.
I don't even think he knew he had an audience. It was just for you. It was a dad joke just for you.
It was a properly good one. Yeah, I was driving the car, and we're renting a car that's got Bluetooth speaker. So he phones and it comes to the speaker. I'm like, "Hey, Dad." He's like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, you're going. Are you at home?" And I was like, "No, I'm driving to Bristol." Why? And he goes, "Oh, there's loads of traffic in Edinburgh, and I don't want to sit in it. I was just going to come round to your house and just hang out for a bit." And I was like, nah, like, I'm in Bristol and I'm not going to be home till Friday. And he was like, "I don't think traffic's that bad." Proper good joke, Martin Sloss there. Right, your dad jokes.
But I'm not holding back on your man.
Your dad wanks in his mittens before he wears them.
Your dad sits on his left hand for 5 minutes, so when he picks his nose, it feels like someone else is doing it.
Your dad's list of 3 celebrities he's allowed to cheat on your mum with are Lassie, Miss Pac-Man, and me.
You?
Yeah.
Your dad plays Guitar Hero with a control pad.
Your dad brushes his teeth with the toilet brush.
Your dad's car has a choke.
Oh, what?
A choke? For the revs on the engine, there's like a choke underneath.
Oh, to make all the cool noises. Your dad's job is to clean the bottom of the swimming pool by licking it when it's full.
Your dad's... what's this? Your dad sits on his cock for 5 minutes so it feels like he's wanking someone else off.
It's a good shout tomorrow. Your cock's big enough to sit on. When Kyle wants to do that, he makes me sit in his lap. Doesn't need the wank after.
Someone else is doing it.
Your dad thinks his star sign is the sun.
Your dad uses his nectar card to chop up lines of meow meow for the boys.
Your dad told your mum he was having an affair, and when she asked who with, he said, "You don't know her, she goes to a different school."
Your dad's a 2.4 and hot or not.
Your dad straightens his pubes with an iron. A 7 iron.
Dangerous. Your dad goes to the deaf screenings of movies with the subtitles on so that he can sing along to the script.
Really ruined Schindler's List for all those people. Your dad...
I mean, they're deaf, so they can't hear him.
Yeah. Your dad tips the parking attendant.
Your dad always talks about putting bubble bath in the water fountains, but's never had the bottle to do it.
Your dad runs around the beach in Brighton eating chips out of people's hands like a seagull.
Your dad keeps his phone in the top pocket of his shirt.
Your dad asks for a sticker whenever he's been for a prostate exam.
Your dad makes his own lemonade and sells it at a passers-by from the front gate.
With the L backwards. Oh, right. We are on tour, you fucking cunts. By the time this goes out, it will be...
We'll be on our way to Blythe.
Monday. So Blythe is...
We've got a lot of listeners from my hometown because they're the majority of the only people that can understand what I say when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
So while they're listening to this, we're on the way, we're on the road to you, all the way from Brighton. We've got a 7-hour drive to get there. We've going to have a real sense of event.
Yeah, so
Sold out. You can't have tickets for that. You can for Bedlington the next day, tomorrow, if you listen to this on the day of release. We're in Bedlington on Tuesday.
And then Ashington is
also sold out.
Sold out. And then on Thursday we will be at Liverpool Slaughterhouse.
Where we have tapped up Paddy Plimblett on Twitter, who's we've become a big fan of.
An MMA fighter.
An MMA fighter who's really kicking ass in the UK scene at the minute. A hot tip for the UFC, which if you know us, you know we're big fans of the UFC. So as big fans of him, we got in touch with him, asked him to come to the gig, so we should be hanging out with Paddy Pimblett.
Fucking Paddy the Baddy.
Yeah.
And then on the 26th of November, we will be in Inverness, Eden Court. That is almost sold out. Get on that very quickly. Same goes for Aberdeen. Lemon Tree on the 27th is, I think there's only like 10 tickets left for that, so get in there. And then a couple of days off. And then on the 1st, we're in Southend at the Palace Theatre. 2nd of December.
Yeah, we'll be back podcasting by then.
Yeah. But
look, if you want the full tour list to see when we're passing through your area, go to www.kaihumphries.com where we've got all of the tour dates, and get us on Twitter at Daniel_.
No, I think it's just Daniel Sloss. I don't know what's fucking.
You'll find us on Twitter. You know our names, Muggins and Cream.
Yeah. If you enjoy the podcast, share it with your friends. Get more people. Again, just another thank you. Like, we're genuinely surprised by the amount of fucking feedback we're getting on this. Please keep suggesting in your Muggle corners and any other stuff that you want to discuss on it.
And for the double plug, go watch Nick Cody in Soho Theatre.
Go watch the bearded master himself. Sweet. Go fuck yourselves. Bye.